All right. Hopefully I have my microphone on. All right, looks like I do. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Matt Fessler. I'm the Associate Dean of Enrollment here at Hudson County Community College, and welcome to our Advanced Manufacturing Live Virtual Information Session. Again, thank you for joining us today. I do have other panelists and presenters with me today, so at this time, I'm going to ask them to turn on their videos and microphones to join us as well. And as they're joining us, I do want to take a second to address a few of the things going on in the world right now. First being the pandemic. We know this has drastically affected so many people. And we just want, on behalf of Hudson County Community College, I just want to say our thoughts and prayers and well wishes are with you and your families during this difficult time. I also want to address the horrific and sad killing of George Floyd and the unrest and protests that have followed. Here at Hudson County Community College, we stand up against racism and hate, and we also stand in solidarity with the Black community as well. At Hudson County Community College, we're going to do everything we possibly can to support our students, faculty, and staff during this difficult time. But not only just our students and staff and faculty, but also our community as well. So with that being said, I do want to introduce our panelists that are with us today. We'll do that, and then I will just go over really quickly about how you can ask questions with us today in the Q&A chat box, and then we'll jump into the main part of the presentation. So let's, as I said before, my name is Matt Fessler, and I'm the Associate Dean of Enrollment. And Professor Clive Lee, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Clive Lee. I'm an engineering and science instructor at Hudson County Community College.
Thank you, Clive. And I'll pass it over to Al if you would like to introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Albert Williams, and I am the Apprenticeship Program Coordinator.
Thank you, Al. And last but certainly not least, Katharina.
Hi, everyone. I'm Katharina Marisol. I'm the Director of Continuing Ed and Workforce Development.
So I want to thank all of our panelists and presenters for being with us today. I do want to let you know Katharina is here today to help answer some of the questions in the chat box. So you'll see a chat box and a Q&A box. We would prefer if you use the Q&A box. It's okay if you use the chat box, but if we have one location where the questions are, it makes it a little bit easier on us. So if you do have a question, please put it where it says Q&A. And we will, Katharina can hopefully answer them throughout the presentation. And if we don't get to all of them, we will also have a live Q&A at the end so we can discuss some of the questions at the end of the presentation. So with that all being said, I'm going to pass it over to Professor Lee, and we'll jump into the main part of our presentation.
Thank you. So what is advanced manufacturing? Well, this program will prepare students to get into the manufacturing industry. It's different from the traditional manufacturing where you see people doing a repeated movement. Okay, so now instead of doing the repeat movement or motion, we are going to learn how to use a robot or how to make things automated if for mass or single item or custom-made production, how we can use the computer control machine to make those. Let me give you some examples. For example, if we need to make plastic forks and spoons, so that is a repeating process. In that case, we are going to make a robot to do those things. Or for a single time application, for example, if we need to make the mold to make the fork and spoon, then we are going to learn how to use power tools and how to use computer control tools to make those molds. Next slide, please. Here is the suggested sequence for students in this program. You're coming here not only that you learn the skills, but you will also be educated. That means you're also going to learn English, you're going to learn math, you're going to learn science and other different courses. Next, please. Here is an example. For example, in this program, you are going to learn how to read blueprint, or you're going to create your own blueprint for certain projects. We have a 3D printer over here. For example, if in the industry, if you want to make something, before you make it, you want to see how those things look like. And a 3D printer can do a very good job. So you can actually see the prototype of your product. For a very limited amount of product, we can directly use the 3D printer as a method of making the production. The graph on the right over here, our students, we actually make a model rocket. So in this case, they designed their rocket, they 3D printed it, and actually they launched it. It was very successful. Next, please. Here is a report in a magazine showing that our students, this student, he 3D printed the face shield and donated to essential workers. He made many of those and donated out. Here's an example of whatever you want to create, you can make it, you can design it, 3D print it, and use it. Next, please. To begin with, you need to learn how to use hand tools and power tools, because for the computer control tools, these are the basic knowledge that you need. Before knowing how these tools work, you cannot easily use the computer control tools. For example, if you just want to drill a hole and make the thread, so you have to know how to use the drill bit, how to tap the threads, and so on. So the first thing you will need to learn is how to use hand tools. Next, please. And followed by power tools and computer control tools. Some of the jobs that require precision and accuracy. With those, we cannot easily done it by our hand. Either hand tool or power tool, we cannot make it. For example, if we want to drill a 0.8 millimeter hole at certain position, in that case, we need computer numeric control tools for it. And for our program, you can easily have access to a CNC milling machine and a CNC lathe. We have those machines in our department for our program. Next, please. Well, this is one of the techniques. For example, this is an example of custom-made material. So with this type of welding, you don't see that making a mass production. So for example, construction is very popular in New Jersey now, and they need some type of certified worker for this type of jobs. And with the advanced manufacturing program, we will prepare students to get the certification. Next, please. When talking about mass production as an example of making forks and spoons, yes, we can use robot to make it. And there are many different types of commercial robot that is available out there. So in this program, you are going to learn how to program a commercial robot. However, the commercial robot sometimes cannot solve all the problems. For example, if you want to have, if you're working in the greenhouse or some type of food manufacturing, so a robot can do something, but it cannot easily sense it. For example, in the greenhouse, if you can sense the humidity or if you can sense the dryness or temperature, then you start spraying water. In that case, you may need to build your own robot for those tasks. And with the advanced manufacturing program at Hudson, we will prepare students of how to make your own robot by using microprocessor chips. For example, an Arduino or Raspberry Pi. So you can learn how to read a sensor and then program it, and you make action out of it. So in order for you to see how you can begin with and learn how to use some hand tools and power tools, we are going to show you a YouTube video of an example of the projects that you may be doing. We're going to play a YouTube video now.
Hey, what are you doing?
I tried to make a flute by using a PVC pipe. By the way, Hudson County Community College is offering an advanced manufacturing class, ADM 120. Students can learn how to use hand tools power tools, and computer control tools. Let's see if this group works. If you want to make the flute by using a PVC pipe, please take the ADM 120.
So great. Thank you, Dr. Lee, for that very informative and eloquent production that you put on with the flute. So again, my name is Albert Williams, and I'm here to speak with you today about an opportunity within an opportunity. And that opportunity is what we call apprenticeship. So you may be asking yourself, what is apprenticeship? Well, easily defined, apprenticeship is the opportunity to earn while you learn. More simply put, it is getting paid while you go to school. Earn while you learn is a concept that has been around for many centuries. In the not too distant past, apprenticeships were a way of life and existed across multiple professions. Blacksmith, shoemaker, tailor, and of course, construction, to name a few. Fast forward to more recent times, apprenticeships were primarily associated with the building and construction trades, which we call the traditional model. For the past few decades, that thinking has changed to a more expanded model to include industry-specific careers and opportunities. For example, advanced manufacturing and healthcare. Next slide, please. So you may be asking yourself, why apprenticeship and what are the benefits? Well, the benefits are that you have the ability to receive work-based learning. That is a new term, but it's synonymous with something you may recognize, excuse me, called on-the-job training. That is coupled with classroom-related instruction, where you will learn the theory behind the work-based learning, which reinforces your knowledge base. And then thirdly, the opportunity to receive structured, incremental pay increases as your skill set, your knowledge base, and your competencies improve. So we look at what is considered growing and in-demand occupations as a result of some new industry information that looks at employment, opportunities, growth potential, and creating a workforce for future demand. Advanced manufacturing fits very neatly into that model. Looking at the industry data, the following occupations are what's considered growing and in demand. So we have a computer numeric operator. We have a computer engineer. And there is an electronic engineer. That same industry information indicates that Bergen, Essex, and Hudson counties, that there were 57,987 predicted career opportunities for 2020, with an average median salary of $84,000, excuse me, $888. So you have an opportunity to enter into a market with a career earning upwards of, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000. And for the year 2021, the prediction is that there will be 57,822 positions that will become available in Bergen, Essex, and Hudson counties alone. Next slide, please. So what are some of the results that you can expect from participating in an apprenticeship? The potential growth is phenomenal. You have an attractive starting salary, pay raises at established intervals, and at the completion of your work-based learning and classroom-related instruction, the potential to enter into the job market, earning upwards of about $50,000 to start. You have the opportunity to earn a college degree, the opportunity to earn an associate's in applied science or a bachelor's in science, certainly depending on how the apprenticeship is structured and designed. And finally, there's the opportunity to get industry-specific credentials. So you can become credentialed with computer-aided design, computer numeric control design and operations, and from the previous slides that we've seen, a certificate in welding. Next slide, please. So hopefully you're thinking, how can I get involved in this process? Firstly, you would contact me. Again, my name is Al Williams. I'm the Apprentice Program Coordinator, and my contact information is listed on the slide. Secondly, you will participate in an informational session, such as what we are doing today, where you will learn about the program requirements and the expectation. You will understand what it means to become a student apprentice. And you will learn who our employer partners are. And then we'll have a Q&A, such as what we'll have at the end of this session. You would engage the screening process. So that means you would apply. You would take whatever skills and aptitude assessments that are required, participate in a one-on-one interview or a selection panel interview, and then finally, hopefully you will get hired as an apprentice. It is extremely important that I stress the fact here that the hiring decisions will solely be the responsibility of the employer. Having said that, we would like to show you a video of one of our current employer partners, Eastern Millwork, who has an apprenticeship program with Hudson County Community College. Let's take a look.
I'm Andrew Campbell, president of Eastern Millwork. We are an architectural millwork contractor based in Jersey City. We supply the custom-made woodwork that goes into commercial buildings. We fill this 6,400 spec section of the construction sequence. We make everything that's custom architectural wood, glass, metal in any kind of a commercial building, hospital, performing arts center, office space. We developed the apprenticeship program with Hudson County to supply our needs for human capital. We need to build a pipeline of workers that are specifically trained in the skills that we need. We happen to be a technology company that happens to be in wood. That's what we are. And so that's the face of manufacturing, often misunderstood today. And the nuance to that skill set is intense. And so it requires both us and the academic institution to partner together. What we find is recruits right out of a typical 4-year, 5-year mechanical engineering degree are really not ready to work for us, and there's still a tremendous amount of time of training. This really resets the ideology of costs and creates a more efficient way, a more capital effective way to build the employees we need. With this system, we're paying for the school and we're making sure that the time that they spend there is hyper efficient. We also have them embedded with us. And when they work with us, they're learning the very specific skills that we need for them to do every day. So it's been a long endeavor. And I think the big piece was finding partners in education that were interested in being flexible and interested in a new way of delivering education, one that's more productive for everybody involved. And I think that sort of makes people think out of the box, puts people in places where they're uncomfortable, but really required to deliver the education that we need for our workforce. So in Hudson County, we found that partner, and then we were able to really get the ball moving much quicker once we engaged with them. I think it's also
Next slide, please. So as I close my part of the presentation today, I'd certainly like to pose you with a few questions and make a statement. Are you a critical thinker? Do you enjoy problem solving? Do you communicate well? Enjoy working with others? Enjoy continuous learning? You're open to change? You want to be an innovator? Well, if you've answered yes to any of those questions, then we certainly want you to consider a career in advanced manufacturing and join the Hudson County Community College family. Thank you so much for your time. Hopefully, we'll have many questions to follow.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Williams, and thank you, Professor Lee, for that informative information. I do want to just make sure we take a second, and then we are going to open it up for Q&A questions if anyone has any. Just about take briefly 5 minutes just to go over some enrollment information, make sure you understand how to do that now, especially during the pandemic and with our campus at the current moment being closed. On the left-hand side of the screen, I have the quick steps to enrollment. Of course, you have to apply. You would have to, if you're a new student, you would have to be placed so that you either take the placement test, and there's actually other options we have now that were remote. So I'll go over that on the next slide. You would want to apply for any financial aid or scholarships if you're interested in that. You can view our course schedules there, and then you, especially if you're a new student, you will have to meet with an advisor the first time you register. Now the information I have on the left is kind of just the quick steps to enrollment. But what I do want to point out is on the right-hand side of the screen, we do have everything that you would have normally been able to do on campus, you can do remotely. All of our services are remote right now. Of course, we want to get back on campus, but we do have to follow the state and the governor's guidelines for that. So of course, as soon as we are able to get back on campus, we will. But I do have all the links there of resources and things that you will need in order to register at Hudson County Community College. And if maybe you can take a picture of this now, we can send the PowerPoint out afterwards, but I will be providing some contact information at the end. So at any time, you're welcome to reach out to our admissions, financial aid, bursar, or advising offices to assist you with registration. Something I do want to point out, if you'll see there on the first check mark, I have the link to apply, but I also have a promo code, which is a capital H, capital C, and the number 3. That will waive the $25 application fee. So if you haven't applied already, we are waiving that for students right now during this current situation. And if you need to take the placement test, the best thing to do is go to hccc.edu/remote placement. We have 3 options that you can choose from, and they're all listed on there. I'm actually going to show you that, like I said, on the next slide. I then have the link up there you would actually be able to register remotely with an advisor, meet with them one-on-one, and you can do that through a video chat, or you can do it by telephone as well. And then lastly, we have a lot of resources and information at our main website for coronavirus resources. You can see it there, hcc.edu/coronavirus-resources. And you can get the most up-to-date information as well as announcements that our president is making as well. I mentioned I wanted to show you quickly the 3 placement options that you have. You can take the college placement test. There are college placement exemptions. So if you have a certain GPA in high school, if you have certain SAT scores, you may be exempt from the college placement test. We also have the college placement test online through a company called Examity. So you could take it normally as you always would, but it would just be online and remote. And the newest thing we have is directed self-placement. You actually will review course descriptions and expectations, followed by a brief questionnaire. At the end of the questionnaire, you will select your preferred course placement. So we actually put it on you. You know yourself the best. And some of you may like this option, to kind of go through what the descriptions are, take the questionnaire, and kind of have an idea of where you land for course placement. We also, with directed self-placement, you also will meet with an advisor. So they will discuss your directed self-placement, give you suggestions, and assist you with the registration process. If there's any plug I can put in right now for this during this presentation, it would be for our enrollment guide. You can go to hccc.edu/enrollment guide, and that will actually download a PDF version of our enrollment guide. Everything you need for enrollment is in the enrollment guide. Important dates, finance information, payment due dates, resources for students, everything you could possibly need is in that enrollment guide. So if you're going to take anything out of this from an enrollment perspective, definitely write down that link address. And like I said, it actually will download a PDF version of the enrollment guide. Really quickly, paying for school, over 83% of our students do receive financial aid and or scholarships. That means they are receiving the funding they need to pursue their educational dreams. And you can see how we compare to other institutions in New Jersey. On the left-hand side, I have the average for New Jersey private colleges, New Jersey public colleges, and then you can see HCCC. And we are significantly lower than many of the other New Jersey colleges, especially four-year institutions, less than half of what you would be if you were going to Rutgers University. But we also believe we're giving you the educational value you deserve. So we don't believe any of the quality of the academics you're receiving is diminished in any way. We just believe in providing students a cost-effective solution to pursuing their education. And many of our students transfer to four-year institutions as well. And some of them transfer to some of the most prestigious schools all throughout the United States and even the world. I did mention scholarships. We have two great scholarships, the Foundation Scholarship and the Government Scholarship. You can see I have the descriptions of both those up there. If you go to hcc.edu/scholarship, you can see a full list of scholarships and eligibility requirements. I strongly recommend going and checking that out. You can fill out one application and you would automatically apply for both scholarships. So we simplified it and made it a little bit easier for you. But I highly, highly recommend that. We want to give this money out, but we can only do it if students apply. And then one of the last things I have here is the Community College Opportunity Grant, also known as CCOG. This is for eligible students will receive free tuition and fees, and this is for students with an adjusted gross income of $65,000 per year or less. So this is a New Jersey state-run program. The biggest requirement is that $65,000. You have to have less than that adjusted gross household income, but you also do have to apply for financial aid as well. And whatever financial aid doesn't cover, CCOG will cover the rest. So it is absolutely possible to attend Hudson County Community College if you meet those eligibility requirements and to attend it tuition free. And there are a lot of fees that are covered with this as well. So I just want to put up on the screen some of our contact information if you are interested in enrolling, registering, or just have general questions about Hudson County Community College. Here's the admissions, financial aid, bursar, also known as payments or billing, and our advisement departments. So as I said before, we are remote right now, but we are actively obviously checking these email boxes as well as the text numbers as well for admissions and financial aid. So certainly feel free to reach out at any time. We are open this summer, Monday through Friday. Typically in the summer, we're off on Fridays, but this year, due to the current situation, we are remaining open Monday through Friday to better serve our students. And that's Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. So with that being said, I think we can open it up to questions. What I'm actually going to do right now is take us off sharing my screen. All right, perfect. All right.
Okay.
Katharina, do we have any questions you want to pose to the group?
Yes. Janine asked what is the process for existing HCCC students who wish to change majors?
What is the process for students for wishing to change majors?
Yes, the current students wishing to change majors.
Sure. So they should reach out to advising. They would have to do a change of major form. It's absolutely possible. We have students do it all the time that change majors, and it's a relatively easy process, but you will want to meet with the advising department. They will have a form for you to fill out, and you can change your major that way.
And we have a question from John asking if the job is required to be in New Jersey. For the apprenticeship position, so the quick answer is no, but there's a lot more involved. So if, rather than getting into the weeds here, if you want to send your contact information, we can reach out to you and answer that question individually. Does this program definitely begin this fall in the Jersey City campus? Is another question. So,
For advanced manufacturing, yes, you can enroll now for the fall, and that's the registration is open. So reach out to us. It's always better to reach out to us sooner than later and get registered. It allows you to get a more optimal schedule, and you'll have more choices the earlier you register. So I always recommend doing it sooner than later, especially you don't want to wait last minute because classes will get full.
and for the apprenticeship program, it really will, the program starts once an employer hires you and designates you as an apprentice. So we do have a partnership with Eastern Millwork, and we are also developing relationships with other employers in the New Jersey area largely to see what their workforce needs are. In order to be an apprentice, in addition to an employer designating you and hiring you as one, the position in which you're hired also has to be approved by the U.S. Department of Labor.
Great. Any other questions? I'm going through them too, Katharina, to see if.
Okay. Does the apprenticeship begin at the start of the program? Not necessarily. It starts once an employer has hired you, and there's typically a 30-day period before you start as an apprentice. But it's possible for you to already be in advanced manufacturing program while looking for a job.
All right, we'll leave it open for another minute or two. See if there's any other questions from the audience. Remember to put them. There should be a Q&A chat box. It actually says Q&A. You should be able to click in there and answer, ask any questions that you might have. But maybe we did such a good job. There aren't that many questions, right?
There actually is another.
Great.
Angelica wants
Perfect.
to know if she can apply for the apprenticeship if she wants to major in nursing. So the quick answer is yes. And we do have a healthcare apprenticeship coordinator like Al, who will handle all of that. And again, your employer would have to designate you as an apprentice, and the position for which you are apprenticing has to be approved by the U.S. Department of Labor. I do know that registered nurse, licensed practical nurse, and CNA already exist as apprenticeable positions. We just have to make sure that we're cleared to run them here at Hudson. Tim wants to know, how do you handle transfers in from other colleges?
Sure. So we have students that transfer into Hudson County Community College all the time. We would need your official transcript. If you would like for us to review your transcripts and get credit for some of the classes you've taken at the other school, we will need you to send your official transcripts to us. It actually goes to, it's an email address, transferevaluations@hccc.edu. But if you would also send them to, it's sometimes I think it's always easier to remember, admissions@hcc.edu. You can have, the school can send them to us, but if you have access to your transcripts already, we will take those, but they will be considered unofficial. But that allows us to process them and look at them. But in order for that to be official, we would need the school to send them to us. So you can have them sent to transferevaluations@hcc.edu or admissions@hcc.edu. And we would review those transcripts, see what you're awarded. You would meet with an advisor, and they would start working out your scheduling, your classes. Depending if you're going for the advanced manufacturing major, they would see what you have already completed for that major from the other institution, and then they would put you on a track to complete the major here at Hudson County Community College.
Christian wants to know, oh, sorry. Krishna wants to know, through the advanced manufacturing program, do we earn certification in various fields, or are we only prepped and then we have to seek certifications outside of HCCC?
Oh, that's a very good question. The certificate is, as for now, is not from our college. It's from a accredited organization. For example, using welding as an example, it will be certified by the American Welding Society. Okay, and it will. As for now, yes, it's an outsider, but in the future, we try to become one of the certifiers. Okay, so we will be represent. Hopefully, we can represent the American Welding Society.
How many seats are available as of now for the fall semester?
I honestly don't know that off the top of my head. I do know seats are available in the major for advanced manufacturing. That I certainly do know. I just don't know off the top of my head at the moment. If you want to email me afterwards, I can get that information for you. But there is still plenty of time to register, and I know there are seats available. If you would like to email me, you can email me at mfessler, and that's MFESSLER at hccc.edu. mfessler@hcc.edu. But there's still plenty of time to register. And like I said, if you want to email me, I'll be happy to try to get that information for you. I'd have to look it up in our system.
Okay, Jose wants to know, he has achieved his AS in engineering science. Does this program work for him?
He achieved it in what?
I'm guessing it's engineering science, ENG.
So, that's definitely, I believe you said it was an associate's degree, right? So it'd be kind of going for a second associate's degree. And that's a conversation that you can have with the dean of our school if it is the right option for you. Sometimes we don't want students to come back and get a second associate's degree for no reason. So if you are curious about that, we can get you connected with the dean of that department, and they will kind of talk to you about that and figure out if it's the right choice for you. Because if we can propel you to a bachelor's degree, we always want to see people continue their education into the bachelor degree. But with that being said, it certainly may make sense, and I'm not an expert on that. I don't know if Clive, if you have anything to add to that, but you can certainly have a conversation with a faculty member or a dean. That's most likely what we would do to get you connected to them to kind of talk about it and see if it's the best choice for you in your education. So again, if you want to email me directly or admissions@hcc.edu and just ask for Matt. I oversee the enrollment and admissions office. So if you ask for Matt, I'm the only Matt in the office. So they'll know who to get it to.
And the next question is, does the tuition cover the cost of the welding certification?
For me, as for now, I would say no. Okay, but we have other grants that may cover it. For example, we have the Perkins grant that is allow us to get equipment and for other purpose. We have to talk to our dean and see if that is covered.
I don't see any other new questions.
Okay. And something, I do want to point out, this is a pretty new major here at Hudson County Community College. And we're doing it because it's a hot market right now. It leads to in-demand jobs. So we're constantly always reviewing those type of majors and programs that are going to lead to in-demand employment. So that's something to keep in mind as we go forward. This is relatively new, and we're continuing to set up new partnerships and agreements as we go forward. So it's only going to continue to expand and grow. And, we would be very excited for anyone to join in to this new and exciting major It's a very hot topic right now in the educational field.
Can you share the PowerPoint via email?
Yes, I will try to get the PowerPoint to everyone that joined with us today. Just give me a day or two, and I will try to get that out via email to everybody. We also have recorded this session today, and we will put the recording up on our website as well, social media and YouTube channel. So we will share that as well. So yes, I will do my best to get that to you as soon as possible. Any other questions, Katharina?
Yes. John wants to verify if this major is hot in the market, in the job market.
Al, do you want to take that one?
Yes, I will. So based on the information that we've been able to obtain, as I mentioned before, for Bergen, Hudson, and Essex, for 2020, there were projected almost 60,000 jobs. So to me, that would indicate that this is an up and coming industry. It's really in demand right now. And so I would encourage you to consider it. Certainly, if you meet the criteria that we've mentioned, this could become a phenomenal opportunity for you.
And what a lot of these companies, advanced manufacturing companies, are doing, they're changing the game. They're coming up with new ways, innovative ways to create things, and that's kind of what this program does. It teaches you how to use computers and tools to improve processes. So a lot of these companies are finding some of the newest and best ways to make new products, and it's very exciting. And we showed the video of Eastern Millwork, and what they're doing there at Eastern Millwork is nothing short than phenomenal. And I hope everyone gets a chance to learn more about them. But they are designing things 100% by computers, but they're building things as well. It's absolutely amazing.
And if I could just add a little bit of background, the apprenticeship program is federally grant funded, which means that the U.S. Department of Labor wants to increase the amount of manufacturing that is, and other industries, that is happening here. They want to tighten up the pipeline and retain talent in this country. So we're fortunate in New Jersey to be able to do that, and we have a lot of advanced manufacturing areas in our state. And, we just want to make sure that, I don't know if you realize that some time ago, we had started outsourcing a lot of the manufacturing, and we're trying to bring that back and have things, continue to be made here in the country at home. So that's essentially where we're going with advanced manufacturing. I have another question. Is this a good program for someone who has had no previous experience in the field?
Professor Lee, do you want to take that one?
I would think yes, and because now everything is innovative. And by the way, you can also go into the other fields, for example, engineering, science, physics, chemistry. It really depends on what you really like to do. If you like to build things hands-on and be innovative, and for now, I think from what I have seen so far, it's the greatest program because you will get all the access to all the tools. We have laser cutter, we have CNC, we have the 3D, we have everything. But it really depends on whether you like to build things with your hand, whether potentially you want to be the entrepreneur. Like, for example, if you come up with some idea of making things, if you want to make it on your own and start your own business, for example, so those are the opportunities. Of course, the other majors are also good. If you're good in math, then you study math. If you're interested in science, do science, engineering. At some point, they are similar at some point, but they're different in, like, for example, this program will give you some opportunities for apprenticeship. So you can work with other companies and see how that like. And by the way, you're going to get paid if you get into that program. So that's the difference. Instead of just taking class, then you have some actual hands-on experience, actual real world experience with the companies outside.
So I also see a question that was here before. It says, what about people that aren't in Hudson County? So we do have a good handful of students that come to Hudson County Community College that are out of county students. Tuition is higher for students that are out of county, and then it's even higher if you're out of state. So that's just something to keep in mind. But there is what's called a chargeback program. If the county you live in does not offer the advanced manufacturing degree, you can attend Hudson County Community College at the in-county tuition rate. So if your county, your community college does not offer advanced manufacturing, you should be able to come to Hudson at our in-county tuition rate. It's called a chargeback program. We have students do it all the time, and that's an agreement among all the community colleges in New Jersey. So if your county community college does not have it, you can go to another school and get their in-county tuition rate.
I see no more questions here. I hope we answered. I hope we got them all.
I think we did. I don't see any others as well. If we did miss any, I'm trying to go through them. It says we just got one quickly. Our class is available in the evening. So yes, there are often classes available in. We certainly offer classes in the evening time. So morning, day, evening. There's online classes. There's hybrid classes. There's weekend classes. It can depend on the class that you're taking. That depends on a lot of it, but there are often schedules that we try to make sure we are accommodating all student schedules. I do want to say in the fall, due to the current pandemic, a lot of our classes will probably remain remote. But we are trying to put some of those classes that are more essential to be in person. We're hoping to get them on campus, programs that where you have to use tools like you would in this program or our culinary program or nursing labs. Those are the type of programs we're hoping at using social distancing to put those back on campus as long as we get the green light to do so. So yes, there are definitely classes available in the evening. Yeah. All right, so I don't see any other questions. We'll wrap it up here. I do want to remind everyone again, let me put up my PowerPoint again, just really quick for you. So you can see the contact information. Please feel free at any point to reach out, especially admissions@hcc.edu if you have any further questions, and whether we need to get that question to Professor Lee or Mr. Williams or Miss Marisol, we will certainly do that. So, we'll if you send it to that one email address, we'll make sure it gets out to the correct person that can answer the question. So with that being said, I want to thank all the presenters and our panelists with us today. We do hope that you found this informative, and we hope to see you soon at Hudson County Community College, and especially in the advanced manufacturing degree. Thank you again for joining us. I'm going to leave this up just for another maybe 15 seconds so everyone has it, and then I'll end the presentation. But again, thank you everyone for joining us.
Thank you.